Welcome to Trailer Teardowns. We are back with another Quick Takes episode where we blast through a batch of movies coming out this Friday, or a Friday of past if you are listening on a week different than when this came out. Listen to how they hit us and see if you agree.
So yeah, the movies that we got this week are pretty eclectic. I don't know if you thought that, just kind of like
Yeah,
instant
definitely.
thought there.
Definitely.
Wow, all different movies. So the 5 movies we're tearing down this week are A Nice Indian Boy, The Luckiest Man in America, Eric LaRue, a Minecraft movie, and Hell of a Summer. It's 5.
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to jump right into the first one. So, A Nice Indian Boy. This is directed by Rashan Sethi, starring Karan Soni, Jonathan Groff, and Sunita Munny. Groff from Frozen, Glee Looking, Sonny from Deadpool that you'd recognize, Sunita Munny. I immediately pull from Glow. She had a great role in that. So those are stars. Angel, what was your thought?
Quick take. There's a lot of funny moments in the trailer. I laughed a bit, but I feel like I kind of don't need to see this because the trailer just shows it all.
Mm-hmm.
You get the meet cute, a montage of funny rom-commy beats. There's the parent obstacle, the reveal that one of the characters has been hiding something from the other person, followed by like a montage of like, oh, woe is me, I messed up. I'm sad. A friend close to me, knocks some sense into them. And then, because deep down, I know I really loved him. Back to a montage of happy moments. And then the Act 3 climax. You're the one I want to be with. Mary, and with tears, and then title card.
Yeah. Any other thought on that?
I think Karan, he's funny. I like him. I think I've only seen him in the Deadpool movies.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool 1 and 2. He wasn't in Deadpool and Wolverine. I kind of missed him. I was kind of hoping to at least...
He's a great comedic timing in that, and like a nice comedic ad of like quirky weird.
Yeah. Like I said, there was a lot of funny moments. I laughed a bit, the dating moments, like, oh, how do you text someone and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much a quick take there for me. What do you thought?
So I'm going to say I completely agree with your take. And at about a minute 40 in, I was like, I'm really enjoying this. And it just got to the part where they were showing like, oh, they got engaged. And I was like, they're going to show the entire movie. Like, this is one of those trailers where they're showing way too much. That this should be, I know the standard is a 2-minute trailer or whatever, but like, this should have been like a minute 35 trailer and stop. Like, they have the comedy. They've got this great thing. Like, to me, it felt very like Bend It Like Beckham and The Big Sick. Like, it's got the comedy, it's got the like intrigue, it's got I feel like there's this theme, oddly, I guess, with like comedic Indian focused movies, with the like not telling the parents that the other person is not Indian, or this like getting set up. Like, there's always this awkward or tension, conflict between the children and the parents, which, I think is clearly a cultural thing that is present with in a lot of the Indian culture, that it gets highlighted, and that's why it works so well and they can play off of it. But they did such a good job of it. And as you said, you got a lot of great laughs. And I like the switch that it's, he's doing the dating app stuff and you don't realize he's gay. And then he like, oh, it hooks up and it just goes right through it. It's like, it's just like it should be. It's just a gay couple romance. It's not, it's just a romance. And it just happens to be 2 guys, and it's done really well. But I stopped myself at a minute 40 because I was like, I don't want to see the rest of this trailer because I'm gonna not want to see the movie, and this looks good. Yeah, that was like my big takeaway. They had a lot of moments, and because I think it's a indie kind of comedy feel, it's going to be, as you say, like probably a tight 90, and they're going to be scenes that'll have good builds, but they're not going to have as many scenes as say an action movie, and therefore there's less to pull from if you're trying to make it dynamic throughout a trailer. And so they sometimes fall into this trap of showing too much. So yeah, that was my take. I think it looked funny. It's got great cast. They've got good chemistry. I think that's like a huge thing that sometimes falls flat is like you don't have the good chemistry between the two leads, and you need to have that. And I think The Big Sick had great chemistry between the two leads. The Bennett like Beckham, great chemistry between the two leads. Even though those weren't the romance in Bennett like Beckham, it was like best friends. But I think
Mhm.
that that's what sells this, and I think like Karan is he plays the same, or not, he doesn't play the same person, but like he is playing a very similar awkward character as he did in Deadpool, but he's really good at that. So he's leaning into it. So yeah, mine is I liked it so much I stopped watching and didn't watch the end of it. What's yeah,
All
what's
right. So yeah, I get. I guess So
well, what's your rating given that you saw the whole
what's
trailer?
the
What's
rating?
your rating?
I'd stream it or skip. I mean, again, I feel like I've seen the movie again, and it's like all the beats of a rom com.
Mhm.
Maybe they bring something different in like the way the story's told. I don't know,
Mhm. Mhm.
something unique. But I could go either way: stream it or skip it. I don't really throw on rom coms just for myself. And, if Beth is interested in watching the movie, and I'd watch it with her. But like, I'm not. Friday night. I'm gonna throw this on by myself. No one's, Again, you see it, you see the whole movie in the trailer, unfortunately. But that's my take.
I see. Now here's the difference between me and you. I will throw a rom com on a free night and watch it by myself. I'm a fan of rom coms if they're done well, especially like good calm side of rom coms. I think they can
Hmm.
go horribly wrong in deployment of a rom com, and then it just is cringe in not a good way. But I,
Yeah.
I'm not going to see this in theaters, but I definitely stream this. I would
All
definitely save this to a watch list and watch the whole thing. Uh,
right.
yeah, but also I think I think all of the three main actors have great comedy chops. I like the fact that it's a little bit different, and they did have laughs. And I didn't see the ending. I won't watch any more trailers.
There's a big explosion.
Oh, sweet, 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 sweet.
All right, so next movie, The Luckiest Man in America. This movie is directed by Samir Oliveros, starring Paul Walter Hauser, Walton Goggins, and a few others. Johnny Knoxville's in it as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, those two standouts. So yeah, what did you think?
I really like this trailer. I thought they did in this trailer what they didn't do in A Nice Indian Boy, which is it. It was the full length of a trailer, but you didn't get the full story. Like it it is clearly they have this great setup initially where you're like, oh, this schlub, and he wants to be on this game show, and he's got all this, and then there's like a turn, and it's like, wait, something else is going on, and they build that intrigue. I thought in this trailer really well, in just like the building up and the different sides, and just short clips with just sort of like one line from each but they add to each other, that like something nefarious is going on, that really pulled me in, and it ends without giving that away, which of course is going to be like the big either reveal or thing related to this. I don't know necessarily the history of this. I mean, I can guess based on like there was that John Turturro movie about the guy who like gamed the system. I don't know if this is that same story just retold, or if it's something different. Like I think that was a different game show, but I think there are, and I
Yeah,
know there was like somebody related to Jeopardy who had memorized the timing for the button presses, because if you press it too early, then you get blocked. But if you press it too late, then like somebody else will get it, who had memorized the timing, so that whenever he pressed the button, he would always be the first one to be able to answer. And he just had like that timing, and that sort of gamed the system. So, I got the feel it's in some kind of genre where yeah, like it's gonna happen. And I do like the idea that it's like based off a true story. That said, I always have that grain of salt in my head of like, well, when it's based off of the true story, it doesn't mean that's what went down. Rudy was based off of a true story, and like there are so many things that are different from the truth because it's they need to make it an arc of a movie that life doesn't always match. I don't know. What do you think?
It's based on the insane true story. I've never seen that. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, oh, I've never seen a movie use the based on a true story with that descriptor, insane.
Mm-hmm.
If sometimes you see like based on the remarkable or based on the unbelievable true story, insane. So that's like, oh, what is this? I've never heard of this story. So that kind of got me instantly hooked. I'm also a fan of like under the table, little known true stories.
Mm-hmm.
So those are kind of exciting to hear because again, if you've never heard of it, granted, probably a lot of people know about this movie or story. I've never heard of it.
Did you see the Anna Kendrick? Did you see the Anna Kendrick movie about the stalker in the dating show? True story. I think it came out last year.
A movie?
It was a movie. It was a movie. No, it was a movie. I believe she directed it, and it was. It's about a woman who like pairs up on a dating show with somebody, and that person turns out to be a serial killer.
No.
Well, okay. Well, you should check that out. Sorry, I just thought that might be that was going to be an easy like yes.
Wait, hold on. So you said that's a true story too?
That's also based on a true story.
Okay, cool. The movie that you were referencing, I think you were referencing, was Quiz Show, the earlier one with Turturro. Yeah. But yeah, so like that, I'm intrigued by that. So like that, this is a true story, not well known. The cast looks good. Paul Walter Hauser, I've only seen him in a couple things. He's in Cobra Kai, but movie wise, maybe smaller parts. But he's good at playing these like oddball.
He was in
characters.
The Nancy Kerrigan story.
I Tonya,
I Tonya. He was great in that. He's like so good at playing like I don't know the bumbling guy.
And just like something odd, maybe like a screw's a little loose, or there wasn't a screw. They forgot to put the screw in there.
100%.
But a couple other things, the look of it looks, very period piece. I was actually surprised that it was set in the 80s. I almost thought it was like more of a 70s setting. I like that like CBS Studios back in the day had game show enforcers as if it was a as if it was a Vegas casino. I mean, maybe that's just like the dramatized, fictionalized part of the film, but I like that there's this big black guy with the muscle who's like gonna threaten this guy.
I mean, it also could have just been like a producer on set that they were like, hey, you look intimidating.
Or maybe it was just a PA really. It's like, hey, you're pretty big, can you go like just like scare this guy? And it's like a PA. I'd like to know the backstory of that, if that was really true.
This is the next story that you want to see a movie about, like the enforcer on game shows.
Yeah, no, that'd be kind of funny. Yeah, that's this movie kind of just dropped out of, or a trailer just dropped out of nowhere. I mean, it's a smaller movie.
What about the pacing? You like the pacing of it?
I think it's nicely I think it's cut together. Like you said earlier, like it doesn't show a lot, so I'm intrigued to see it.
Cool. Yeah, my rating is I will definitely stream it if it's something nearby that I could like catch and I have the time. I'd possibly go check this out in theaters. This could be like, for me, I could do this as a matinee. Like it doesn't need to be a at night one, but I think it could just be kind of fun just because like, the game show is big screen and just like that, being in an audience like a game show audience feel might be a nice add to like the experience.
Yeah. So a lot of movie theaters lately do $7 tickets on Tuesdays. So
not in New York. Not in New York.
Here
Mr.
in LA.
Yeah.
In LA, $7. I mean, I think I think it's because like Tuesdays is probably the least frequent day of the week that people go to the movies. So I'll see any movie for $7. Not any movie, but all right, yeah, for me, I'd see it too. Like, here's the thing: I feel like this probably will be in theaters for a week, and then it's like renting it on digital. This is a jam-packed week. There's probably a couple of other movies I'd rather see in theaters over this, but I'd see it. I'm streaming it, so cool. I might even rent it. Not like wait till
not wait though 1
Netflix.
week for it to come to
Well, I mean, it'll be on VOD where you have to like
Yeah,
pay for
yeah.
it, but I'd rent it for $10.
All right, next up is Eric LaRue. So this is directed by Michael Shannon, starring Judy Greer, Paul Sparks, and Angel's favorite actor, Alexander Skarsgård.
That was Bill Skarsgård.
Or his brother. Actually, the favorite acting family, the
That's it.
Skarsgårds.
I'm looking forward to like the next Skarsgård that pops out.
All right, Angel, what's your instant take?
This trailer, very subtle. It's a solid, subtle, quiet trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes you think the movie's about something else when there's a lot more to it, especially at the end. I don't know if it got you at the end.
Yep.
You're like, oh, okay, well, this is
Yeah, yeah,
different.
yeah.
Judy Greer looks great in this. You rarely see her kind of do like this dramatic work. She's usually the comedic relief mom or wife in
Mm-hmm.
movies and shows, just sort of. But like she seems like she's the lead in this, and also that's
Mm-hmm.
the other thing. She's not really a lead in a lot of things. So she looks really good. It looks interesting. A few different things in play and themes, I'm sure, with like religion and faith and whatnot. And just like this tragedy or incident that's happened in the movie that affects all these characters. So obviously it's a serious piece. So yeah, I mean, not much really to say. I think this was you said it's directed by Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon, the actor, he's great as an actor. Plays a lot of really interesting characters, but I think this is his directorial debut. So
Debut.
yeah, so
Gotcha.
that's pretty cool. But yeah, not really much to say there, but just kind of, I think it's definitely a well done trailer. It doesn't show you a lot, and like I said, it's quiet, it's slow build, and I feel like that's kind of like what the movie's gonna play like.
Yeah, I think I don't know if subtle is the word that I would use per se. Like very slow, nothing happening trailer. Like in the sense of you're just sitting with this family, either them together or the two of or them separate, each one separate, or with their religious friend who maybe they're having an affair with, kind of thing. Um, yeah, it. The thing that struck me about this, other than the like nice reveal twist at the end, which isn't really a spoiler because it's the trailer and they're giving it, and that like the whole buildup is, oh, they've like lost this kid, their son, and they're mourning the loss of their son, or that's what you believe throughout the whole thing. And then the reveal in the trailer is their son is essentially got a gun and shot other kids. And so I'm assuming the son is like in juvenile detention or jail or something. And the parents are dealing with the fact that, like, again, I'm assuming they didn't know and they didn't abuse the kid. So it's just like it came out of nowhere, but they're dealing with the loss of their son because of that. But the lead up to it, it was, I watched the whole thing because we had this conversation, but like I probably wouldn't have made it to the end of the trailer if I wasn't having this discussion with you on this podcast. I think the trailer was just very slow, and I had some interesting parts with, okay, the
Slow,
religious, like just it was,
slow in a boring bad
yeah,
way.
like slow in a boring way to me. That like I got it, and there are different movies that like slow really works. But I mean, I think this is not No Country for Old Men, which is slow but in a different style of build. And there was definitely that movie with Marissa Tomei and maybe John something, British actor, and they're in a house. I think he got like um, an acting nod or an Oscar nod of some kind. But again, it was like very slow and just like you're just
Oh,
sitting with the family or sitting
in
with the couple.
in the bedroom.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, in the bedroom. And I think like, they can be really good, but you have to be in the mood for that. And this trailer, it didn't, I don't know how you make a trailer for a movie that is so like this. I guess you make it like this. The question is like, is that, who is that fully going to appeal to? Is what I think is the hard thing to like discern. Because it's like an indie drama that's
Character.
intense. That
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, like,
It's a character piece.
I wrote a feature that's a drama, and it's indie, and I talked to like a producer, and they were just like, oh man, like it is really hard to make any money off of indie dramas. Like you need name actors, and you know what regions those actors will bring in how much money. But if you want to make an indie film and get investors and sell it and make money, it's got to be a horror or a comedy. So this is just like that niche of, uh, you know, you got to really want to watch a movie that's potentially going to depress you.
Yeah, no,
Kind of feel. And I think the acting is probably really good. The question is like, who's going to see this exactly? Who's going to on a Friday night pull this up? But yeah, okay, wait. So what's your rating on it?
I'd stream it. It's not something I definitely want to see it. I just don't know if it's a theater movie for me. I could if I were in New York, maybe just because it just has that sort of like, go see it at the Angelica Theater or Paris, it
Dress
just
in
has that like,
black, dress in black, and go to the theater with
well,
all the other
not
people dressed in black to go.
no, it just has that like sort of like, very indie feel. I wonder if it
Yeah,
even
yeah.
looks like it was shot on film. It's just very small piece. It's based on a play. I looked at the credits and
Hmm, hmm,
I could see that. So I was like, oh, I could see this as a play. And so it's definitely a smaller movie character piece. I don't know. I'm intrigued. It's
hmm.
definitely not a like. It definitely does not seem to be a happy movie. Like,
What are you
let's
talking
throw
about?
this, on. Let's get the popcorn
Yeah,
and. But I'd stream it.
gotcha. So I'm like middle ground area. I'm on. I've no, yeah, a middle ground area. I'm at the moment. I'm on like if nothing else on, I would start it, but I'm not confident I would finish it.
No, so I'm curious. So I guess I want to get to like why not. I mean,
Like
are you just not intrigued by like the?
I'm intrigued by the premise of okay, you have a family that had a child who did a horrible thing, and it's like a loss of the child for them, and the way that they're sort of the lens that they're seeing it is they've lost the child, and so it's like that kind of mourning, and that everybody deals with things in different ways. Um, I guess for me, it's kind of like when do you go see Requiem for a Dream, right? Like it's super depressing, and I've actually never seen Requiem for a Dream, and it was because somebody said, well, if you're happy and you watch it, it's going to get you depressed, and if you're depressed when you watch it, you might be suicidal. And I was like, okay, so with that description, like when would I ever want to watch this movie? That like with this type of movie, um like what is the circumstance that I would watch it? Like action movies, I can, if it's, I can watch it while working out on like, or, riding a stationary bike. If it's a rom com, you throw that on a weekend, like have fun. Like when do you throw this type of movie on?
When you want to watch good storytelling, good acting, good
Yeah,
direction. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
That's yeah. No,
I
and
mean,
and
I feel
I.
like movies don't necessarily need to be built around like, okay, this is that event or this is this event. It's
Mhm, mhm.
maybe you watch this when you're in the bathtub drinking a glass of wine. Evan. I don't know if you need like if you need an event. I don't know,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
okay.
But I think that's yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing for me. And so that's why it's if nothing else on is like if I don't have anything else on the stream and I need to watch something, then I'll throw this on. And I'm sure the acting is great, and they are given the time to actually do it right and to like you to feel it. And I'm sure it's super depressing because you can connect with you can empathize with the characters and like
No, I
oh
agree there. Like it doesn't. I'm
yeah.
not rushing to watch this just because like it's yeah. But okay, all right.
Well,
Point taken.
let's jump to the next movie, which is a definitely eclectic change of pace.
Oh yeah, different. So yeah, we got a Minecraft movie. This is directed by Jared Hess from Napoleon Dynamite fame. It stars Jack Black, Jason Momoa, Danielle Brooks, and a few others. All right, Evan, what do you got? What takes you got?
My initial thought is if you know Minecraft, it goes in that realm of games that like you just people play, but there's no enemy. There's just like it's just you create things, and I feel like for the last decade, maybe longer, the movie industry has done this thing, Battleship, like different games that existed that they're like, let's make into a movie, and then they have to come up with a reason, what like that, like what happens in the movie, And I could definitely tell that like Jared Hess directed this, and it is one of the more, at least to me, like the way they've set it up in even just the trailer, like the premise kind of gets more and more absurd, and they lean into it. Like it's clear even on the set design that it's a little bit oversaturated, both in like the visual and color scheme. Like I love how they start out with that, like the VO of Jack Black, and it's the little kid, and then he comes back as an adult and he's like clearly out of shape, but he's got this extremely tight shirt on that matches in color, and then he's like, and then I went in there and I just started digging in a mine, like complete obliviousness, and then finds a magic cube somehow. Like it's very absurdist in a way, and then somehow pulls people into this other world, and like that's essentially the quick backstory. So I thought like the trailer setup was kind of like, okay, did all of these crazy things in this movie, and now we're just gonna like throw them into a trailer. Like it felt like I didn't see everything, so I didn't see the whole movie, but at the same time, I saw the extreme randomness that probably is this movie. Like the fact that they introduce, like, oh, they're these bad guys and they shoot fire and they're pigs. Oh, but I didn't tell you about these other bad guys and they're zombies and there are evil forces. And you're like, so how many bad guys are there? And like, how long also are you just gonna spend where people are building things? Because that's what Minecraft is like building things. And it's like, oh, it has to be out of blocks, and let's do some weird things with blocks. And so I think it like very much is leaning in and playing to the audience that plays this game, which is a large number of people, don't get me wrong. But I'm curious if it's gonna be a movie that's watchable. That's my take. I don't know if you agree.
So I don't really know the lore backstory of Minecraft. All I know that it's like a sandbox game where you build and create your own world and watch others play. So I can't say whether or not like this
That's it. That's
trailer
what it.
is.
That's it. That's the whole game.
Yeah, yeah. So I can't say whether or not like this trailer is doing the game justice. I've played the game for about 10 minutes on a Nintendo Switch, which I think it's probably better played on a computer with a mouse. Like,
Mhm.
have you ever played Minecraft?
No, I've seen people play it, but
Yeah,
I've
I mean,
never.
a lot of people. I mean, that's my son watches people play Minecraft, and I think alternatively, like that probably could have been a movie where it's just 90 minutes of just a screen record, and it may sell a lot of tickets because that's what kids do on YouTube. They just watch other kids play Minecraft.
And it's not even playing; you're just building the whole time. Like you're
Well,
just.
yeah, that
Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah, it's you're building. So I mean, going back to what you're saying, that like they made a movie about the board game Battleship. Like, yeah, this doesn't really have like a story, like a narrative arc. There's no like main villain. There's just like these zombies and pigs and things like that you fight in the game. But yeah, so like in a way, when it's like, oh, like they're making a movie off a board game. It also is like you look at it as like, all right, they have a creative challenge. How are they gonna make this really into a movie? So you got to kind of give them a little credit. Like, all right, let's see what you can do. And a lot of times it just sucks. Also, Minecraft. I think if I was born in a different, this is not my generation. This game came out in 2011, so I was already in my 30s or about to be in my 30s. So like I'm not I'm not hooked there. I'm like, oh my god, I got to see a Minecraft movie as opposed to like a Super Mario Brothers movie. I was there
Mhm.
for that live action one, which is not great, but also the CG animated one that came out a couple
Mhm.
years ago. That was fun. It looks fine. I mean, in terms of I'm intrigued in the sense like, oh, I want to see what happens and how they make this, and maybe it looks fun in 3D, but I'd be curious to see if they the alternative version where they like make a 90-minute version of kids playing and just
I would love
watching.
to see that A/B test. Like you should do a 90-minute screen record of like your son playing, and then we should
Just try to sell it.
try and release it in theaters and just see which one does better. And but like do a old throwback style trailer where it's like, "Ba-na-na-na," like you've got oh my gosh, Final Countdown playing and stuff, and it's just your son playing the whole time.
Yeah, but I think I'd add another layer to it because he plays, but he watches more. So it'd be like he's
Like meta.
playing and then he's watching other kids play inside.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just,
And then he's like building off of what he watches somebody else play, and then it gets, yeah.
what's your rating?
What's a rating? This I think this is gonna okay. I'm gonna like go against what I sort of just said in my reasoning on like what I thought my quick take. So this is gonna be a between, if nothing else on, and I'd stream it because equally I am curious like how bad this could be or if they could pull it off. So like the intriguing thing to me is not necessarily the story that they told in this trailer, but like is this going to be so horrible to watch or is it actually going to be good? And because the possible range is so wide, like maybe they like lean into it so well that it actually is turns out to be hilarious and great, and this trailer was just so random feeling that I got put off a little bit. And maybe, you know, a tighter trailer cut or a different way of telling the story. As we said, like you could tell a trailer story so many different ways. Um, maybe it turns out to be good. So I like, yeah, I wouldn't be saving it, but if it popped up and I like didn't have anything else on, I'd be like, yeah, could be interested, be enticed. How about you?
I mean, I'm not in the camp that like, oh, this looks horrible. It's just again, it's not like it's not designed for us, I think, so or it's not right. It's
Yeah.
so, it's designed for your 7 to 10 year olds. I don't know like what's how old the
Okay, okay.
oldest
But
kids play.
would you double feature on a Saturday, streaming Snow White for your daughter, followed by a Minecraft movie for your son?
Yeah, I would. I mean, we actually technically I saw Snow White yesterday with my daughter because she didn't go to school, so we watched it yesterday. But so yeah, I'm in this camp of, all right, similar to Snow White. I have two responses. One, I'll see it because my son wants to go see it, so we're gonna go see it in theaters. He's excited for it. I guess the question will be, will we see it in IMAX or will we see it in 3D? He hasn't seen a full 3D movie before, so he might really like that. Curious to see if he enjoys that experience. But yeah, I'm not. Other than that, like I won't see it in theaters. Maybe throw it on the stream when it lands, wherever it lands, without an upcharge. But yeah, that's my rating there.
Cool. All right. Next up
Our
is,
last one.
oh yes, last one is Hell of a Summer. So this is directed by Billy Brike. Is in Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Finn Wolfhard. I bring up Ghostbusters Afterlife because I'm guessing Finn Wolfhard and Billy Brike met on that set. This is their directorial debut. They are wrote it and are directing together. And then it's starring Fred Heshinger, probably most recognizable from Gladiator 2, Finn Wolfhard, Stranger Things, and DeFaro Wunate from Reservation Dogs. All right, Angel, what's your quick take?
All right, let's cut to the chase. I'm so there for this. I mean, this was like made for me. I love summer camps. I love slasher movies. Um, Put them together and in a fun trailer. Gets me there. I mean, look at my shirt. It says
What was it says camp
Camp
horror. All
Horror.
right. What was fun about this?
Again, so we talked about horror movies and slasher movies on a
Mm-hmm.
previous episode, and yeah, they're kind of getting derivative, redundant, and I feel like now there's this trend of you can't take them too seriously because a lot of people just don't find them scary enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it because you know what's gonna happen. Like, oh, there's a POV shot of someone in the woods looking at someone, and then the suspense builds, and you hear a noise, you go out, nothing's there, turn around, there's a killer there.
It's just been done so many times that you can now predict what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
so
Yeah.
I think now it's like, all right, let's make it campy, let's make fun, let's poke fun, but not make a spoof like a scary movie. So just adding that humor, and then like this obviously has a younger generation take on it,
Mm-hmm.
which it looks fun. There's a lot of funny moments in it, with these two filmmakers. I think they're like in their mid 20s, so like
Yeah.
kudos to them for like landing a feature film going into theaters, their first one. um but not much to say. I mean, there's a lot of humor in it. Yeah, it's just kind of like little things like this. I feel like this movie, if I was gonna just sort of like do the opposite take, like Like this movie, I feel like it's coming out at the wrong time.
What
I
do you
feel like
mean?
it should be a. I feel like it should be a summer movie just to play into like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
title, the setting. I feel like it could be a fun sleeper hit, but granted, maybe it's not all that great. And the summer usually has a lot of competition with other your bigger movies. The movie first screened at Toronto Film Festival in 2023, so the movie's been done for a
Oh,
long while,
so maybe it
which
took
is
a second to sell.
yeah, like I don't know if it was a straight if like Neon like produced this or if it was like a pickup of
Hmm, hmm.
or something like that. But also like the writer and actor strikes happened, so like maybe the actor strike
There's
kind of
there's
delayed
there's
it and to be
also
able to promote it.
there's also a lot of weird stuff going on. I heard that this year's Sundance that just ended is the first Sundance where the film that won top prize didn't get a purchasing offer.
There's less
So
buying
it's
happening
yeah.
right now,
Hmm, hmm.
unfortunately. Though it's easier to buy something that's done than like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go out
yeah.
and make it. So if anything, like buying completed projects at festivals seems to be the way to go. It could be the way to go. So yeah, the movie maybe it's not all that great. I'll still see it. I'll still see it in theaters opening weekend. There's some funny lines like I said before, like the one line, the line's been cut. I've always wanted to say that when the guy's like picked up the payphone and they're poking fun at all these like tropes in
Yeah.
movies and suspense movies, slasher movies. Even like the moment with Finn Wolfhard when he's like talking to, I think he's talking to either a guy, or no, he's talking to like a bunkmate, where he's like, "Oh, I blew her," and like that was like, I was like, is that what Gen Y or millennials say to like when they don't know like really what they're doing? That's kind of funny, and it's like obviously has that younger. I feel like this will play really well. This could play really well with like people are in the age group that are in college right now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sure this
yeah.
is going to be a breezy 90-minute movie.
Hmm.
But yeah, again, I dig, the slasher movies are fun to me and the setting summer camp. I worked at a summer camp, so I have that sort of affinity. But I did notice like, and like this is just a sample from the trailer. There obviously could be more, but it just seems like it's a small summer camp. Like they just had about 10 counselors in that room when he's talking to them. But and again, I worked at one and we had like double that plus support staff. So are they the only people at the summer camp? Yeah, little questions there, but yeah. So what do you think?
I need to see the budget of that summer camp and see what they're
Yeah.
charging and if they are making a profit, because I want it to be realistic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that doesn't seem realistic. Not enough counselors.
Yeah, I mean, I think if this movie ends up not being a good movie, I think they did a really good job with the trailer. And like this is definitely like one in which they knew that they told the story with the trailer really well. Like I think starting out with that the counselor, like who's the older counselor, which is a horror movie camp trope, but like his mom is making fun of him, just like sets the stage so well. And it's like, oh man, you're like the loser going in. They set it up really well as we're playing off the tropes, and even with that line that you said, but we're being meta about it and commenting on it because we know, because it's like as if all those counselors have already seen all the horror movies, so they're just calling it out and being like, oh come on, like this isn't real because it's this, and then they lead into like, who is it, but because you keep seeing different people, you're like, oh, is this, and we've got Scream, so you have this idea of like, oh well, it could be multiple people, but maybe it's not multiple people. Or I think of Hot Fuzz, again, like this, like multiple killers versus not, but you've already seen that, so I'm curious what the twist is of like who this is, or like, oh, it's this person's, like, in the back of my mind I'm like, what if it's that old counselor's mom who's just like, I'm tired of my son doing this, so like I'm gonna destroy this camp and then he won't be able to work here anymore. Like the reveal is
Oh,
just like, but then again, um there was like that, I did not enjoy it, Netflix movie, I think it's called like Hoobie's Halloween or something. It was like an Adam Sandler movie with like, and the reveal on that one was just like, oi. But I think because there are all these tropes, there is a slightly higher bar on that ending reveal of who it is. So I'm curious what happens with that. But I think, the cast is is pretty solid from what I see in their humor, and they're playing it. And clearly they had a lot of fun with it and fun making it. So I think that plays out in it. And they clearly had their own vision and voice. So the trailer came together really well in that, like, bang, 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 bang. And you understand both from the top, and it builds on the type of humor that they're doing with this. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. Like the casting too. Like there's a lot of like a lot of like newcomers in this, but like they all seem like age appropriate. Like they seem to like they're like late teens, early 20s. You know, like what
Hmm.
it's a job. You're one of your first job you get out of college or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
so
is a rarity. I feel like a lot of times, I think we saw, what was the one that you and I saw years and years ago? We saw a screener, and the director was in the audience as well. Uh,
Adventureland.
Adventureland, and they had like one of our biggest things that were felt off in that screening of it initial. Like, I don't know if they changed anything. Was like some of the people who were college students like didn't look the age of college students. It was just like it didn't. It just pulled you away because it was like these aren't anywhere close to the right age.
Yeah.
Well, like this one, it definitely feels like, oh yeah, they're young.
I forgot there was this moment in the trailer. It seems like it's somewhere in the middle of the movie where they're trying to like maybe like do something to prevent things happening. Like they whip out a Ouija board and they're just like, oh, we're gonna try this, and like one character says, "I don't fuck with ghost shit" or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And like that'd be me. I mean, I don't like ghosts, so I'm with him there. So it just looks fun. It's a fast paced trailer. The music, the quotes that obviously from like film festival screenings and things like that are slapped in there to get people excited. I'm excited. So theaters,
yeah. All right. So what's your rating?
theaters. I'm
You
there.
seen it in
Opening
theaters?
weekend. I'm opening
Nice.
weekend. What about you?
I think I'd stream this. I'd watch it. I'd definitely watch it. I think it's in that comedy side of horror com. But I don't need to see this in theaters. I'm not. I know. Like you definitely do, and there's
I got
definitely
to.
people that like this is their thing. But like, yeah, I feel like this one would be like a fun, date night, chill night thing.
Cool.
I mean, hey, like for those who are out there single looking for a date, on date night, I feel like this could be a really fun date night movie. I mean, I guess if you have a partner and you want a date night movie too, but like I feel like this is one where like where the youngins will go and be like, oh yeah, and laugh together, but also like jump and whatever. That's my tangent. I'm gonna stop
All right.
talking. Uh,
Cool.
um,
So that's five. That's five in less than 10 minutes each. Where are we at? What do we run? What's our running
I
time?
have no idea.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think we hit
Uh,
it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's quick takes, and thank you for watching. Um
Oh yeah, watch it. This is our first one with
s-
video. We didn't
oh yeah,
acknowledge
this
that.
is watching and listening. We got some video in this one. So we'll see how this goes. Angel and I
Assuming
put on appropriate shirts. I'm wearing Tailspin. Uh yeah, Angel's got a well-placed Spider-Man pillow in the background, I see.
yes.
Um yeah.
We'll see if the video comes out. If it doesn't edit well,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's just
Maybe
gonna
you're
be
only going to
audio.
be listening to this because we decided to scrap that. Yeah.
Cool. All right. That's it.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks for listening. Bye.